You want to, I know you do, you want to increase the engagement of your students. And so, as a result, here today, I'm going to give you a quick and easy strategy to increase the motivation and engagement of your students. One simple strategy. Because here we believe, this is the Marvin Bird Show. Here we believe that teachers are leaders, and as a result, we discuss those skills, strategies that you need to lead your students to success. So today we're going to focus on perception. Perception. Yes, perception. You see, perception is your students. They come into your classroom. They may say, for me, I taught U.S. history, and so a lot of times I had students come to my class and say, "Well, I'm not good. I've never been good at social studies, or I'm not good at U.S. history. I've never been good." So there is that preconceived notion. There's that, because there's that perception, because in the past they've taken in information, they've taken in results that they've used to create this idea, this belief. When we look at the word perception in the dictionary, it means the comprehension, the way we understand information, or something that we see. So in this case, we're talking about students, and I want you to obviously keep that in mind. When we talk about perception, it's comprehension, literally a taking in of information. So think of that. For me, social studies, when my students, before they came to my class, they would take in information, and a lot of that information was not very good information in terms of results in their social studies class. So that information, those results told them what they made up in their mind was that, hey, I'm not good at social studies. I didn't do well on this test. That must mean my perception is I'm not good at social studies. I didn't do well on this quiz. Perception is I'm not very good at social studies. Now, in a lot of cases, in my history, I don't know about yours, but in a lot of cases, students weren't doing everything that they could do in order to change those outcomes. And we're teachers, but we're also part psychologists as well, because that, like I said, we're leaders. Teachers are leaders. There are things that we're going to have to there are strategies and tools that we're going to have to go beyond the school building in order to get. And that's why I appreciate you spending your time here working on yourself, developing yourself, because it's things like this that you need in order to help change the way your students think. And that's a lot of what leadership is all about. It's about helping people change the way that they think, because it's out of the thinking come the actions. If I feel like I'm not good at social studies, that's going to affect a lot of things, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. But when we talk about perception, you thought you were only teaching content. No, it's so much more than that, because think about that. Your perception remains until your perception changes. And changing that perception can be difficult, because think about it. There once was a time when people thought the earth was flat, and they were certain that the earth was flat until they believed differently. And it wasn't easy to get them to think differently about the shape of the earth. And so it is with changing the perception of students. Because when a student says, I'm not good at math, there's something else added on to there's a certain there's a period, or maybe even an exclamation point added onto that sentence, and it goes like this, and that's not going to change. I'm not good at math, and that's not going to change. That's the period or the exclamation mark on the end of that sentence. Imagine that. Think about what that does to the student. Think about what that does to, think about how that changes the student's response to the classroom, to spending time in the classroom, to going to that class on time, to their behavior in the classroom. Obviously, you understand it. You get it. You understand that. But there is work we can do. There is, remember, we talk about this. Students are going to be in your class. If they're going to be in your class, then it's our duty as leaders. We're going to go we're going to use all the tools that we have in our toolbox. And once we've used those tools, we're going to go get some more. Do the best that we can. So when a student says, I'm not good at math, and that's not going to change, it's our job to change that. It's our job. That's where the work is. Like, yes, we've got the content down. We got an excellent lesson plan. We are ready to go. But if their mind isn't right, if their mind isn't ready to engage, to seek knowledge, to acquire knowledge and do something different with the knowledge, then the results are not going to be optimal. The results are not going to be optimal, and quite possibly that can affect the flow of your classroom, which we don't want. And I want to tell you this, specifically to those of you who are new out there, or if you may even be struggling with the idea of a certain student who you really care about, you're working with, but they're not making good decisions and they're disrupting your class. There should be nothing or no one that interferes with the learning that's taking place in the classroom. Now, definitely, we work with students. We climb the ladder of intervention. But if they're not getting it, you've tried, you've got that documentation in place. You got to do what you got to do. You have to do what you just have to do it. That your classroom environment, that's sacred, and no student should interrupt the learning that's taking place in the classroom. Now, definitely, at the end of the day, we want them to learn. We want them to be on this learning train with the rest of the students, but they can't interrupt your lesson plan and the learning that's taking place. So don't feel bad about that. Don't feel bad about that, because you're here because you want to reach out to that student. You want to get that student. You want to cause that student to engage. So when a student says, I'm not good at math, and that's not going to change, that affects a number of things. It affects one, it's going to affect their effort. It's going to affect their effort. And specifically when I talk about effort, that means when they're in your classroom, they're going to be looking at the alternatives. What else can I be doing besides really, really locking in and engaging in this lesson plan? And you don't want students doing that. You really don't want students doing that, because the answer sometimes it could be getting some sleep, or also the other end of that, it could be disruptive behavior, and you cannot have that in the classroom. That cannot be tolerated. Period. So yeah, if they truly believe that I'm not good at this content, that's going to affect their effort. And so the alternatives, anything else, they're going to be easily distracted. If someone else is doing something goofy in the classroom, then they're going to laugh. They're going to laugh. They're going to be entertained, and just the alternatives. It's going to affect their effort. Number two, it's also going to affect their reaction to results. It's also going to affect their reaction to results. And because they already believe I'm not good at math, the results are going to just confirm that their belief is true. I knew it. I'm not good at math. I told you I told you this wasn't going to work out. I told you. So number one, affects their effort. Alternatives, they're going to give in. They're going to want to do anything and anything else but what's going on in your classroom. Number two, it's going to affect the reaction to the results. Hey, this is just confirmation. I told you. I wasn't good at this. And then number three, it's going to affect their learning posture. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. What I mean by learning posture is when when I was in the classroom, I told the students, I said, whenever you go in the classroom, you need to enter that classroom seeking. You're on a mission, because education, it's not something that's passive. It's not something that you can just come in the classroom and spectate. You have to have what is called, I call it just a learning posture. It's a leaning in. It's a it's a certain mindset that you're on a mission. Like you're really locked in and seeking to answer that essential question, to master that objective. And you're willing to ask questions, you're willing to do whatever it takes to stay on mission and get that job done. And that takes a lot of sustained energy throughout a 50 minute class, or maybe even if it's a block class of 90 minutes. That takes a lot of sustained energy. But the person their perception, students' perception, it's going to affect that. And so if they're not leaning in, they're not locked in, they're not focused on that objective, that means they didn't get the last objective or the one before that. And so now at this point they're lost. Okay? And then that's only strengthening their belief and that perception that, hey, I'm not good at math. I'm not good at math. But we know, obviously, it's a vicious cycle and it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if you didn't pay attention to that last class, there's stuff that you missed. So of course, this class this week is going to be difficult. And if you continue with the same thinking, the class next week is going to be difficult. So you see the way this goes. But here's what I want to offer. Here's what I want to offer. It's in it's in the work that we do with helping students change their identity. That's how we change perceptions. We help students change their identity, then we can help students change their perception. Now I know what you're thinking. Like we don't have them in class for that long a time. I'm not a licensed therapist or whatever. I don't have the time. We can't go deep like that. We can't. That's not what I was trained to do. I just need this student to come to class, sit down, and get to work. Stop distracting class. I get it. I get it. But what I want to give you is, there is a tool out here. There's a tool that I found, and I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share this with you, that I think would be beneficial to you, to help you get students to become aware of their thinking, and then change their thinking. And as they change their thinking, they're going to change their perception, because they're going to form a new identity. You see, in the past, I'm not good at math. So as they were seeing themselves as a student who's, I'm not good at math. I'm a student who's just, I'm not good at math. That's the way they were seeing themselves. So what we have to do, you as a teacher, you have to help them change that identity around, because it's working in the negative direction. I'm not good at math, and so the effort is not there. Okay, the effort's not going to be there, and that supports the perception of I'm not good at math. The reaction to results, you see, I knew this was going to happen because I'm not good at math. And then the learning posture. Yeah, the student's not leaning in, not asking questions, not not really actively seeking to master that objective, because that's wasted energy, because I told you my perception is I'm not good at math. So we need to find a way to flip that. We need to find a way to flip that. And so what I have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is I have for you this. Now, I'm sure many of you have read Atomic Habits by James Clear. Excellent book. If you have not read it, I definitely encourage you to add that to your reading list. Add that to your reading list. Again, the book is called Atomic Habits by James Clear. Atomic Habits by James Clear. This is something. This is a worksheet that I found on his website, and this is outstanding. This is outstanding. This is something simple that you can do with your students as a class, or you can do with students individually by having small one-on-one meeting with them, or you can do it with a small group of students at your desk. So this is quick and easy. All right. So what the goal here? The goal here, as I read, how identity-based habits are different from goals. Okay, so what the purpose of this? The book is Atomic Habits. All right. So the idea is, well, here, let me just let him tell it to you. The key to building lasting habits is focusing on creating a new identity first. That's our target. We want to help students create a new identity. Your current behaviors are simply a reflection of your current identity. Again, remember, I'm not good at math, so I'm just not going to try hard. I look at those results. I don't care about the results on my math test, because I knew that I'm not good at math, and I'm not going to lean in. I'm not going to waste my time giving a bunch of effort, because I know I'm not good at math. Your current behaviors are simply a reflection of your current identity. What you do now is a mirror image of the type of person you believe that you are, either consciously or subconsciously. All right. So to change your behavior for good, you need to start believing new things about yourself. You need to start believing new things about yourself. Now, I'm big on affirmations. I think that's really good. You should have a number of things that you have your students say each and every day, or a number of phrases that you give to your students in certain situations to encourage them. But, self-affirmations, that's one thing. But sometimes you need to go a little bit deeper and do a little bit more work, more writing down of things, more visuals like this one here. Now, let's look at this here. This is the layers of behavior change. Notice the bullseye right here. That's the identity. That's the work that we want to do with students and help them change that identity. If they change that identity, then we can get them to behave differently. And by behave, I'm talking about make different actions. Give more effort. Not given to distractions. Stay focused. Want them to react positively to results, so that they're asking questions, they're seeking feedback. And then 3, we want them to have a positive learning posture where they're leaning in, they're locked in, they're on a mission. And think of that. What if all of the students in your class were on a mission to accomplish that learning objective? That's nice, right? That's the kind of class you want. Absolutely. So here, the identity. The person that you believe that you are. And here it is. Here's the words that go with that. I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. So we're talking about workouts as an example, okay? Workouts. I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. Okay, that's the identity, okay? That's what's up here, okay? And then we're speaking that. I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. Now, what are the actions? Okay, the actions you take. I can do 100 push-ups in a row. I can do 100 push-ups in a row because I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. You see the way that goes? Now we're flipping that. We're flipping that perception. We're flipping that perception. We're turning it positive. We want to turn it in our direction, actually in the direction of the student, because it's ultimately going to help the student. Okay. The actions you take, I can do 100 push-ups in a row because I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. And then the appearance, check this out. This is the outward part, the way the world perceives you. It looks like you've lost 10 pounds. Oh, why does it look like I've lost 10 pounds? Because I'm the type of person who never misses a workout. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. And so this is just very, very, very simple. There's just a few more examples there, but I'll let you go through those yourself. I will make this available in the description section and a link to the book as well. I think it's definitely something that every teacher should read. Every teacher should read. Again, there are those things out there, solutions to the challenges we face as teachers. It's not. Sometimes it's beyond the PD that your school or district offers you. And I often say the best PD is the PD that we seek out for ourselves. All right, so here it is. This is just nice and easy. And someday I'll take this and I'll just kind of alter it a little bit so that it's more tailored to a teacher using it with their students. But for now, it's still good. This is good. It's not, this is it. That's it. This is easy. So step 1, name the performance or appearance goal you want to achieve. The performance or appearance goal you want to achieve. And again, we're just going back. We're going back to this. We're going back to this right here, performance or appearance goal. And then in one sentence, this is the money right here. And so obviously this performance or appearance goal, that's something related to school, not and related to the class, but not specifically the grade. Not specific. We don't want to get there yet. What we want to do is we want to get them to take some small incremental steps. Perhaps it's just I come to class on time. Perhaps that is I come to class on time and prepared. Perhaps that's the simple action that we want to take. All right. And then in one sentence, this is the money. In one sentence, describe the type of person or student who would achieve that goal. And ladies and gentlemen, what that does is that focuses their mind on I'm not good at math to something else. Like they are taking the power of those past perceptions away, and they're replacing it with something different, hopefully something positive, something worthwhile, something that they can shoot for. And notice we're not specifically targeting a grade here. That's not what we're doing. What we're targeting is I'm a new kind of student here. I'm the type of student who asks questions when they don't understand. I'm the type of student who always seeks to learn from mistakes. So you gotta, and sometimes, and a lot of times with these, you have to just kind of be in the moment. You have to study your student, and you can give them some ideas of where they should go with that, because definitely we don't want to be generic. You don't want to be generic here. You want to have a good conversation with your student to come up with an identity here that's going to help them eradicate that poor perception, but that's also going to put them in a position to start experiencing some good results. in a short amount of time. Because here, when we going back to push-ups, I can do 100 push-ups in a row. Okay, obviously, can we do 5 push-ups in a row? Okay, we got 5 down. All right, we're gonna take it up to 10 push-ups in a row. You see what I'm saying? So we keep climbing that ladder, and we're gonna get to this point where the appearance is better and better and better. And appearance, yes, it's your grade, but it's also like you're getting kudos, and you're getting called out because people notice a change within you. All right, so here we go. So this is the money. In one sentence, describe the type of person who would achieve your goal. That's the identity. And then here, list 5 incredibly small steps you can take to become this person. That's it. 5 steps to take to become this person. I love this. And that's it. And down here at the end, it says commit to doing each step for a week straight before moving on to the next. The goal is not to achieve results at first. That's important. Not to achieve results at first. The goal is to become the type of person who can achieve those things. And here is the secret. It's when you change your identity and you become this person, here come the results. The results will come. You change that. You change your identity. Change your identity. You're going to change your action. And certainly the results are going to be different. I truly believe that the results are going to be, they're going to be different in a positive way. Well, I thank you so much for tuning in. That is our show for today. I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? Have you ever used something like this? If you're interested in using this, please remember it's going to be in the description section, and I'll link to the book as well. I encourage you to read that. I'm so appreciative of you, my audience. Thank you so much. And until we meet again, please don't forget that teachers are leaders.